All right, so I've decided this weekend I'm going to take a look at some 80s films, and I'm going to start with Teen Wolf. Not Teen Wolf 2, eventually I'll get to it, but Teen Wolf with Michael J. Fox from 1985. Same year he did Back to the Future, by the way, and he was actually filming this film when Eric Stoltz was filming his scene for Back to the Future that ended up getting deleted. But the weirdest thing you should never hear about Teen Wolf, when you hear the story of Back to the Future, you know about, oh, he was doing Family Ties and so he couldn't do this. But you never hear, oh, he was also filming Teen Wolf. So I don't. It's strange. Yeah, so Teen Wolf stars Michael J. Fox as Scott. I forgot the name. As Scott, who he's not the most popular kid, but he's got a couple friends. He's got a friend named Lewis and a friend named Styles, who's like one of the coolest guys. He got a jacket, sunglasses, and he likes to surf on top of vans to Surfing USA by the Beach Boys, which I always love to hear that song because I grew up with the Beach Boys. My grandpa used to play the Beach Boys on his record player when I was young, so it's always cool to hear the Beach Boys. And I should mention why I am he. Where? Well, can you tell? Let me back up a little bit. You tell I have a bunch of stuff on the kitchen table right now because I am rearranging my stuff. I'm moving my horror movies back into the bedroom since October is over. So I'm putting those back, and that's all my horror movies on the table there. DVDs in front, Blu-rays in the back, and so I can't do reviews there, so we're going to have to do here until I get it moved back. Hopefully I'm back over there by the time for tonight for Stephen King Saturday Night, which will be another 80s film. So Scott is, like I say, he's not very popular. He starts to feel weird, and then he finds out he's turning into a werewolf, and apparently it's a genetic family curse sort of thing that his dad also has. And I like the scene. There is some subtlety with this. So they're at this party, and he's with Boof, right? That's the girl best friend's name is Boof. I don't know why or what it stands for. It's just Boof. And, Styles, I'm sure he set it up to where, because he has a thing for this girl, Allison. But, everyone keeps saying, oh, you should be with Boof. You should get with Boof. You should date Boof. Even his dad says it, but he's like, no, Boof's my friend. I'm not going to do that. And I realize I've said Boof way too many times. But, they set it up where they get the 7 minutes in heaven thing in the thing, and in the closet, and they start making up. And then say, oh, your nails, be careful. And then they're like, oh, hey, how was it coming out of the closet, Boof? And then she leaves, and it's very subtle. She turns around, and you see just tears and some claw marks on there. They don't really mention it. It's just, you see it, They're like, oh my God, Boof, look at your shirt. No, it's just shown to us, which is really cool. And then when he comes home and he starts to change, and I love this scene when he's freaking out, and his dad's like, whatever it is, I'll understand. He goes, nah, not this time. Now you get that high-pitched Michael J. Fox, and he opens the door, and his dad is just standing there in full wolf makeup, and it's like, the dad doesn't look as wolfish. He looks like a gerbil. And they make it gray because he's supposed to be older, but I don't know. I don't like the way the dad looks. And they explain that the dad actually has history with the principal, who was like a werewolf hunter, but they don't go into it really. That they or not well werewolf hunter, but like he swears vengeance because they turned into werewolves and scared him away. But he always hated that. And one thing I never liked about this is Lewis. All right, as soon as he accidentally reveals that he's a werewolf because he gets angry, he turns as a werewolf playing the basketball game. Like Lewis is like, no, you're too creepy. I'm going away. Everyone else flocks to him. Like, oh my god, that's so cool. And he runs away. And I get it. You want one character that sees him as being creepy. But would there only be one person that finds him scary? Just one person? And again, if it's one of your friends, someone you hang out with every day, just because it's very superficial. Oh my god, you're a werewolf. I'm not hanging out with you anymore. That's too superficial for me. You know, it's like, I know you're scared of him, but like, he's still your friend. He's still in there. And I think the reason why they did it is they didn't have the actor for the entire film. That's what I think it was, because he's at the beginning of this, and then he disappears until the final game. And they only mention him throughout the film. So I think they didn't have him, so they needed a way to write him out, because they didn't have him for the whole film. I think that's why they did it. I don't know. I could be wrong. But I'm just saying. I know it's kind of creepy with the darkness behind me, but that's how I want to do it, you know? So yeah, and so of course he has a crush on Allison. Allison wants nothing to do with him until he becomes the wolf. And that's bad enough. But then they go the extra mile by saying she wants him, but she also still wants to date her boyfriend. And to that I say, whore! I mean, come on. She had sex with him, and I always thought it would be funny if they put a little extra scene where it turns out she got pregnant and had a litter of puppies, and now she's just sitting there or something. I don't know. Or if they threw in a line in the sequel, which there is a sequel, of course. Not too big a fan of that one, but yeah, it's just I don't know. Yeah, and then I like at the end after the basketball game where she's there expecting him to run to her, even though she treated him like shit, and he runs to Booth instead, which I don't know if that's necessarily needed, because like by then you already know he's not gonna go to her, but I guess that's his final little test. He goes right by her and goes, and her boyfriend, they do mention in passing, like, oh, he's like 20 years old because he's been held back like 8 times. I guess that's a way to explain why you have like a 35-year-old playing it in high school. Because he looks way too old to be in high school, man. He got like a 5 o'clock shadow and chest hair. I mean, high school students have chest hair, but this is like, he looks like he's 30. I mean, maybe some of these actors were old. Like Mark Holt, who plays Chubbs, which, like, I find it weird because in the sequel, he and Styles are college roommates. And it's a different actor to play Styles, but it's still Mark Holton. And I find it weird because they sort of just talk to each other in passing here. Where, like, they don't really know each other. They just know by name. Hey, Chubbs, how's the diet going? Stuff like that. And yeah. It's more like Lewis was the best friend. So it's really weird in the sequel that they're college roommates. Mark Holton. Francis. Or as I know him, Ozzy from Leprechaun. But, the coach, what are his 3 tips of advice? Never date a woman with the same name as a city. Never play cards with someone, and never, I don't know. I don't care. He asks for advice and he gets that, and that's just like, he's the worst. And everyone in his school is so superficial. Like, he wants the Wolves to play basketball. And then the drama teacher's like, hey, no wolf, no part. And it's like, Okay, so how close are you to your show? Like, I'm just saying. But yeah, the message is be yourself. That's the whole thing. Don't do what everybody else wants you to do. Be yourself. That's the message, and it gets through. It does. Michael J. Fox is pretty good in this. The best performance, of course, is Jerry Levine as Styles. I think he's probably the best character in the film besides Scott. The dad, played by James Hampton, who had a couple. He was on Dukes of Hazzard playing a replacement sheriff before Roscoe came back. But yeah, and yeah. The music. I like the music in this. The 80s music, it's very 80s. And because it's 1985, that's in the middle. That's when you had the definitive 80s music that was going to, go throughout the rest of the decade. So the music in this is very 80s. So the ending is the basketball game. Now, something I noticed this time is that it goes on forever. I feel like they played this song called Win in the End. And they just had a basketball game going through the entire song. I swear. And then they win at the end. And, because of course they do. Same with the song, right? And he shows up like, hey, are we going to get the wolf? And he's like, no, there's no wolf. We can win this ourselves. Of course, he gives a motivational speech. And of course, because he did that, they start winning. And for the most part, it seems legit. They're doing very good shots and layups like that. But there's one shot where Chubb just goes. And it goes in, and I went, no, bullshit. He just goes, ugh, and it goes in. No, because I've done those where you take the ball and just chuck it. You can't make those. There's no way. No one in the world can ever make just a shot because it doesn't have the right kind of throw. You just, it's going to bounce off anything it hits. If it gets enough air. I mean, no. That's the one shot in the game. I'm like, no. I also noticed I don't know if it was supposed to happen, but like, this bad guy, I think his name was Rick, like the guy, like, or whatever, the guy that Allison is dating or whatever, he's on the opposite team, and so like, then they're doing the game though, Michael J. Fox pats him on the back and then kind of walks with him a little bit and then stops and walks by himself, and I'm like, did he think the camera wasn't still rolling and realized it was and they just kept walking and then didn't decide to refilm it? It's like, okay, it's good enough. You didn't mess up enough so we can shoot. Because it's like, he's like, pats him in the back and then has his hand on his shoulder and then suddenly he just stops and walks to you. And I don't know. It's really weird. But I know what you all are waiting for. After the basketball game is won by the Beavers, which is the name of their basketball team, of course, you have the celebration, you have the extras, and of course, I'm going to talk about the one extra brought to everyone's attention by Family Guy, something Dark Side special, where that Yoda in there entails that there is an extra with his dick out. Well, one, it's a woman. Two, it's just underpants. So you see this woman walking down, jeans open. And I always find it weird that women have jeans that zip down and open because, like, they don't have a need to do that, right? You think they just have button pull down. I don't know. I always thought the zip was so that guys could take it out of their underjockeys, the underpants, and pee in the toilet, right? So I always find it weird that women also have the zip down on the jeans because women don't need to do that. So it's always really weird, and probably why you think it's a dude, but it's a woman with the pants unzipped, apparently, walking down. I don't know if they did it on purpose or if they didn't realize their fly was undone. I don't know, but it's become the stuff of legend in these things. But excuse me. But yeah, then it ends. No real wrap up, nothing. Everyone just likes him now because he won the basketball game, which is still superficial. But he did prove that he can do it himself without being the wolf. So, yeah, and is it realistic? No. Because one, you really saw where people are going to be scared. They're not going to just jump on the bandwagon. Two, an inspirational speech is not going to just, okay, we're winning now. No. And I'm sitting there and they're like 16-35 and I'm going, wait, how long is this basketball game? How long is this montage? And it shows you scoring almost every basket that is scored. It's a basketball game put to music. And I'm pretty sure it was just a basketball game. And when they played it back, they're like, people are going to think this is boring. Let's put a song over it and edit a song to it. I'm pretty sure that's how it went because it just seems like they wanted to show us a basketball game, but then realized it was boring, so added some 80s music to it. Win in the end, which of course they do. But yeah, so all in all, Teen Wolf is pretty good. I do recommend it. So what are your thoughts on Teen Wolf? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.